overnight, the men's Final Four games in San Antonio did not disappoint. I was texting Mike all night long. Houston mounting a furious comeback, taking Duke down. Final score 70-67. Florida beating Auburn 79-73, setting up this epic championship game for Monday night. On the women's side, a powerhouse epic matchup today. Defending champs South Carolina taking on the dynasty that is UConn women's basketball. Joining me now to break it all down is ABC News contributor and SiriusXM radio host and our man on this show, Mike Muse.
What's up? Mike,
you brought your basketballs. It's going to be one of those things where
back,
you
America.
speak, you hold it, I speak, I hold it.
Let's do that.
Let's start with South Carolina. Defending champs, they only lost, 3 games this year, but one of them was to UConn, and it was a blowout. So what happens right now?
Listen, it's going to be a blowout for South Carolina. No, I can't make that prediction.
I was going to say, no, you're not saying
I'm
that.
make that prediction, America. I do think it's going to be a close game between these two.
Okay.
And the reason I said that is because Paige Becker was only the 3rd highest scoring player when they played against UCLA. And so in order for UConn to be able to mount an incredible offense and to go against the incoming dynasty, which is Coach Dawn Staley, she's going to have to need to step up her A game and really lead that team, especially with experience, because the freshman from UConn is what led that team in scoring. And so, Phil, on the big game days, it's all about mental, right? And so experience matters. So we're going to need Paige Becker to step up to the plate today if UConn's going to take it home. But my money is on South Carolina. South Carolina is such a well-rounded team. And you're really going up against Coach Dawn Staley. Coach Dawn Staley has been here before. I can only imagine the preparation that this team has done in order to get them ready and prepared for this game and to be defending champs. So they have a lot that they're playing for, lots of momentum. South Carolina takes this game.
UConn's legendary coach says he was humbled.
Yeah.
By the way, they were playing, demolishing UCLA by more than 30 points. First women's team to beat another 1 seed by that amount. What do they have to do today?
Phil, you know what? They have to be able to pass the rock, to you, right? That's all about teammanship and showmanship when it comes to that. They're going to have to keep doing what they need to do, which is play a well-rounded game, right, in order to make sure that they don't focus too much of their strategy around Paige Beckers, because what's going to be happening is Staley is going to mount a defense in order to stop Paige Beckers, right? We saw that, and now we're going to talk about the Duke game, but we saw that with Cooper Flagg. When you only have one singular player, it's easy to mount a defense against that team, and so they're focused already on Beckers. And so I think they need to be able to spread the play around, spread it amongst the other teams, and let other teams get involved and really see what that freshman Azud is going to do. I think she's going to be the X factor for UConn, but again, it's going to be the mental thing. Freshman, championship, big stage, tough.
Sometimes they step up. Hey, talk about the coaches. I mean, when you're talking about legends, this is how legends are made and how they are. This is pretty amazing.
It is.
This matchup.
This matchup is amazing, and I think now we're actually going to a place where we're actually really focusing on coaches, because there's so many great coaches now in college basketball. Before, we only had 1 or 2 coaches, really on the women's side, right? But now we're seeing such a well-rounded depth of college basketball coaches who are playing well, who has experience. This is one of those matters. Well, look, ageism, we can't take that in consideration. That is part of the conversation, right? We see new battles, the youngest coach playing versus the oldest coach playing, right? Sometimes this is a matter when experience matters to really get your players to this position, and that is a strength not only with the players, but also too with the coaches too as well. Because the coach has been here before. How do you make those calls in the last minute, 2 minutes remaining?
All right, so who wins this game that's ongoing right now, and who wins on Monday?
South Carolina wins. The women's, and listen, for the men's.
South Carolina
wins. I've been saying that from the beginning, Phil.
I know you have.
You can't go against South Carolina.
Paige has done everything. She just needs this. She needs to check it off.
Needed one, and ability is 2. It's 3 different things.
Get used to disappointment. There's a lot of it in life.
Get ready for it, Phil. I'm telling you, you can't go against Staley.
Monday. I know you're picking Florida. I have Florida as well.
I'm going Florida all the way. But listen, this is going to be a good game between Florida and Houston. And one thing, I know a lot of people have been saying that they're mad about this match. It doesn't have Cinderella stories. For me, I never worried about that. For me, the Cinderella stories are first and second round. This is what you want in college basketball. You want games like we saw last night with Duke versus Houston. You want it to come down to the wire, right? You want to see the star player, Cooper Flagg, go for his one big moment where he has a chance to put the game on the line. That's what your all-star is. That's what the leader of a team is. They want the rock. They want that moment to shoot it.
I'm not mad at number 1 seeds being there. That's why they're number 1 seeds.
Exactly. You want competitive games like that. You want the number 1 player to shoot, fade away, misses. The agony of defeat. But the championship of Roberts from Houston, who lead that team, you're talking about veteran players. Robertson's a veteran player in that team. He had such emotional IQ to settle his team in the last 2 minutes to get them ready for that victory. It's going to be a great game between Florida and Houston, but Walter Clayton Jr. is going to bring it home from Florida.
I'm with you on the men's, not the women's. I think UConn's going to take it.
Hater.
Mike, thank you as always. It's such a pleasure. Also, the late night text during the games, I love it. That powerhouse women's matchup championship game today at 3. It's happening now on the ABC network.